Lt. Howard Mather Burnham. March 17, 1842 – September 19, 1863, is best known for having fought and died at the Battle of Chickamauga in Georgia during the American Civil War. Early life. Burnham attended a military high school in Hamden, Connecticut, and upon graduation he attended Sanborn's School in Concord, Massachusetts, and Lawrence Scientific School, now known as Harvard School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Soon after, the Massachusetts Volunteers were attacked in Baltimore, Maryland. He enlisted in the Springfield City Guards on April 19, 1861. Military career. Burnham was sent to the 10th Regiment Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry and received a commission as a second lieutenant in command of the 5th Artillery in the regular Union Army. He served impatiently for several months as a Union Army recruiting officer in Towanda, Philadelphia, New York, and Dubuque until he was ordered to Fort Hamilton in New York on garrison duty. He went to Washington, D.C. for an assignment as aide-de-camp to his uncle Major General Joseph K. Mansfield, commander of the 12th Corps of the Army of the Potomac. But before he had the chance to join his staff, Gen. Mansfield was killed at the Battle of Antietam. After several months he was promoted to first lieutenant and joined the 5th U.S. Light Artillery, Battery H of the Army of the Cumberland under General William Rosecrans. Shortly after taking command of Battery H, he had been appointed Chief of Artillery of the 1st Division, 14th Army Corps, and placed on the staff of Gen. Absalom Bed. Battle of Chickamauga. On the morning of September 19, 1863, Burnham was overseeing his artillery battery in the thick woods near Jay's Mill at the Battle of Chickamauga, with Confederate troops charging his position. He attempted to bring his horses forward to haul off the guns, but alert Confederates shot the animals as soon as they were within sight. With no chance of escape, he ordered his gunners to load their 4 12-pound Napoleons with double-shotted canister. Battery H opened up as soon as the 18th Infantry skirmishers were clear, causing the Confederates to take cover. The 16th Infantrymen in front of the guns occupied a slightly lower elevation and saw the shells flying over their heads. But Battery H did not have much infantry support, and enemy fire quickly shot down their gunners. Burnham was shot in the chest, mortally wounded. When his second-in-command, Lt. Joshua A. Fessenden, asked Burnham if he was hurt, he responded, "Not much, but save the guns." Quote, Lt. Fessenden had the following to say about the battle that day. During the morning, after an all-night march, we were ordered forward by General King. The battery was hardly in position before the troops on the right gave way, and it was exposed to a most terrific fire of musketry from front and flank. General King ordered us to limber to the rear, but it was impossible to execute the order, since many of the cannoneers were either killed or wounded, and the horses shot at the limbers. At the first fire, Lieutenant Burnham fell mortally wounded. Lieutenant Ludlow was also wounded and fell into the enemy's hands, and myself slightly wounded in the side. The battery was taken by the enemy. After firing 16 rounds of canister, Lt. Fessenden had himself been shot in the hip, but he assumed command. Battery H was overrun, but Lt. Fessenden successfully rallied his troops, recaptured his artillery, and even took one gun of the Confederates. Lt. Fessenden kept the field and brought off the pieces, but without their caissons, as these had to be abandoned through lack of horses. While the battle raged on, Burnham survived for another 2 hours. In addition to Burnham, 42 men in his unit were either killed or wounded, and more than one-third of the horses were shot. That day, Gen. John King dispatched the following in his report. I take this occasion to speak in the highest terms of the officers of Battery H, 5th Artillery, 1st Lieutenant H. M. Burnham and 2D Lieutenants Israel Ludlow and J. A. Fessenden. The officers of this battery, finding it impossible to retire, remained with their pieces, firing, until they were forcibly taken from them by the enemy. Family. Burnham was a descendant of Thomas Burnham, 1617–1688, of Hartford, Connecticut, the first American ancestor of a large number of Burnhams. The descendants of Thomas Burnham have been noted in every American war, including the French and Indian War. Roderick Henry Burnham, ESQ, February 27, 1816 – July 18, of Long Meadow, Massachusetts, a member of the Massachusetts legislature from 1861 to 1862, and Justice of the Peace. Father, Catherine Livingston Burnham, May 8, 1822, daughter of Samuel Mather of Connecticut, a descendant of Rev. Richard Mather of Dorchester, Massachusetts. Emily Livingston Burnham, May 17, 1849 – November 10, 1871, sister. Mather Howard Burnham, 1870–1917, who became a spy for France in World War I, and Frederick Russell Burnham, the celebrated scout, 1861–1947, were his second cousins. See also Notes. Bibliography. Anonymous. 1864. Memorial of Lieutenant Howard M. Burnham, United States Army, who fell in the Battle of Chickamauga. Springfield, Mass. Samuel Bowles & Co. pp. 1–89. ISBN 1-115-952757. Burnham, Roderick Henry. 1884. Genealogical records of Thomas Burnham, the emigrant, who was among the early settlers at Hartford, Connecticut, U.S. America, and his descendants. Hartford, C.T. Case, Lockwood and Brainard Co. ISBN 1-112-19164-X.